Over the years, the Final Fantasy franchise has had many collaborations with other brands. I think it's safe to say that Final Fantasy 15 took this to an extreme, and thinking about it, that might be a fun video to make in itself just because of how crazy they went. But in reality, it's something that has been commonplace for quite some time now. It's just that these days, it's much more front and center, ranging from the Louis Vuitton campaign, which featured Lightning, through to the decision to team up with Ariana Grande on Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and even partnerships with games such as Puzzle & Dragons and Smash Brothers. Anyway, with there being so many collaborations over the years, we thought it would be fun to revisit some from the past and perhaps resurface some of the ones that have since been forgotten. Before we get on to that though, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and make sure that you hit that little notification symbol to get instantly notified when we publish videos. Alright, my name is Lauren, and here are 8 crazy collaborations with the Final Fantasy brand that you probably forgot about. Starting with Coca Cola. I think everyone remembers the big collaboration that Square had with Coca Cola around the launch of Final Fantasy IX, where characters from the game appeared in a small commercial. But did you know that it was actually just one of many collaborations between the Final Fantasy brand and the global drinks manufacturer? Around that period, there was a long stream of promotions that ran which saw figures being created for characters from Final Fantasy VII through to Final Fantasy X. And to acquire the figures, you had to purchase 500ml bottles of Coke. Upon doing so, you receive an opaque bag with a figure inside. For the Final Fantasy X promotional run, there were 32 figurines in total, and as you couldn't see which one you were going to get, you'd have to buy a lot of bottles to try and collect them all. Across the 4 games, most of the main characters from each game were featured, including Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Squall, Rinoa, and even Seymour. In addition to campaigns associated to games, Square also collaborated for a Millennium Anniversary celebration. This saw Final Fantasy branded bottles sold, something which was very rare and they could only be purchased from Kittyland, a toy retailer. As an extension to this campaign, it was also possible to win a Griever-themed Mini-disc player and the Final Fantasy Coca-Cola special box. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want those Griever headphones. That's not all though. As part of the Millennium Anniversary celebration, they produced 9 Final Fantasy Art Museum trading cards. They were part of the first edition and could not be obtained any other way. Panasonic Foma P900 IV. If you ever wondered why Cloud Strife made a point of using his super cool flip phone in Advent Children, it's because back in 2004, Panasonic teamed up with Square Enix for the launch of their new phone, the Foma P900 IV. It represented the first time that a paid product placement featured within a Final Fantasy property, and it meant that for the first time you could officially buy something that was used by one of the iconic characters. We wouldn't see such a move appear again until the arrival of Kingsglaive in Final Fantasy 15, which really took things to the next level. The deal would also see Cloud featured in advertising campaigns outside of the movie, but that wasn't all. Do you guys remember Before Crisis Final Fantasy VII, the mobile phone game that focused around the Turks? Well, not only was it exclusive to Japan, it was also exclusive for 3 years to, you guessed it, the Foma P900 IV. If you purchased the phone, it came preloaded with animated avatars and short clips of Advent Children. I have no idea how much Panasonic paid for that deal, but it must have cost a pretty penny. Toyota Echo. Publishers are going to extreme lengths to get their gamers to pre-order these days, offering up bonus content for first-day adopters and drawing us in with extravagant collector's editions. But did you know that back in 1999, Square Electronic Arts partnered up with Toyota to offer fans the chance to win a brand new car if they pre-ordered Final Fantasy VIII? Running between the 30th of July and the 31st of August, the Final Fantasy VIII sweepstake gave registered winners the chance to take home one of 4 brand new 2000 Toyota Echoes. Jun Iwazaki, then president of Square Electronic Arts, noted that typically as part of the pre-order campaign, consumers would get a bonus such as a cool t-shirt or ball cap. With Final Fantasy VIII, we have really stepped up the incentive to get on board early. You're telling me, June. Roen Clothing. Back in 2008, when Final Fantasy 15 was still Final Fantasy Versus 13, it was announced that the rather stylish clothes that we saw the characters wearing in various trailers were actually created by a high-end designer label from Japan called Roen. The concept for the collection was Playboy, with an official line from the company stating that the theme of this imaginative story is set with men who have shed off their hippie image and are invited to a high society party. Rowan is reborn to a mature, gorgeous, and classy style. After this announcement, we didn't hear from Rowan for many years, until they accidentally leaked that Final Fantasy Versus 13 was becoming Final Fantasy 15. On the biography page of Rowan's lead designer Hiromu Takahara, he noted that he had designed clothing in 2008 for Final Fantasy 15, something which was changed in 2012. Once people caught on, it was quickly updated to say Final Fantasy Versus 13 again, and classified as a mistake. Turns out they did also design the updated clothing for Final Fantasy 15, which they showed off during the pre-show of Uncovered Final Fantasy 15. Gackt. To help promote Dirge of Cerberus, the only playable sequel to Final Fantasy VII, Square Enix enlisted the help of J-pop star Gackt. Not only would he be writing and performing the game's main theme called Redemption, he would also work on another track called Longing and appear in the game as a minor character. As a part of the deal for Dirge of Cerberus, it wouldn't just be a case of virtually capturing Gackt and then using motion capture. Instead, they used green screens to film Gackt and blend it in with traditional CG scenes for his appearance in the game. Gackt also did a concert tour where he wore G's outfit, which was designed by Tetsuya Nomura. Fun fact here, Gackt is convinced that even before Dirge of Cerberus, he had already been featured in a Final Fantasy game. On national TV, he said that he believes Squall Leonhardt is based off of his likeness, referring to Squall as Gackt No. 2. Nomura has never added any credence to this, instead saying he was inspired by River Phoenix. After all, River and Squall have the same birthday. By the time Crisis Core rolled around, Hideki Imaizumi, who was the producer on the game, wanted it to connect to the rest of the compilation. He contacted Gackt to reprise his role from Dirge of Cerberus, which saw his original character G turn into the fully fledged character of Genesis Rhapsodus. Nintendo. Square and Nintendo once upon a time had a great relationship. They even worked together on Super Mario RPG, but with the release of Final Fantasy VII, that relationship turned rather sour. It meant we had to wait a whole nother decade to see a full-on collaboration between Nintendo and Square Enix, in the form of Mario Hoops 3-on-3 on the Nintendo DS. Unlike Super Mario RPG, which featured a few little Easter eggs, Mario Hoops 3-on-3 had 5 different nondescript Final Fantasy characters on the roster, alongside classics such as Mario, Bowser, and Waluigi. Although none of them were available from the get-go, you could unlock characters such as Moogle, White Mage, Black Mage, and Cactuar. These same characters also featured in a follow-up title called Mario Sports Mix, which released on the Wii in 2010. Suntory. In preparation for the release of Final Fantasy XII, Square Enix teamed up with the Japanese drinks company Suntory to release a commemorative range of drinks called Final Fantasy Potion. It would be a special herb-based drink, which would contain ingredients such as royal jelly, propolis extract, elderberry, chamomile, sage, thyme, and fennel. In addition to the standard version, Suntory also released a premium set which featured special bottles and a collectible art card. Due to the success of the campaign, Square Enix revisited it numerous times. To celebrate the 10th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, they created a limited edition drink, of which there were only 77,777 ever sold. That was released on the 13th of September 2007, and it was said that the taste was inspired by Sephiroth. In the following months, Suntory released 2 additional sets of potion based around Final Fantasy VII. The first featured 16 different cans, each with a different character from the Final Fantasy VII compilation. The second featured different poster artwork and came with one of 8 mini trading arts figures. The next year, Square Enix teamed up with Suntory again to celebrate the release of Dissidia Final Fantasy. This saw both Cosmos and Chaos drinks being prepared, with different colors and flavors associated with each side. Kotobukiya. Long before Square Enix decided to manufacture their own figurines, which are of course known as play arts, they outsourced production for some of their figurines to a company called Kotobukiya. It resulted in some extremely high quality pieces of work, and because of this, they are incredibly sought after amongst collectors. I mean, just look at the Vincent Valentine figurine. It's such a close match with the official concept art produced by Nomura. As part of the range, they also produced this awesome cold cast resin state for Cloud Strife and the Hardy Daytona. Then there's the Final Fantasy VIII Summon Statue Collection, which featured Squall, Renoa, Cypher, Irvine and Zell, and Selphie and Quistis, and the figures they made for other games such as Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2. The newer figures, such as those produced for Final Fantasy XV, have seen Square Enix up their quality significantly compared to the original play arts. But there's still a part of me that wishes they would go back to Kotobukiya. Their stuff is just so good. So that's 8 crazy collaborations with the Final Fantasy brand you probably forgot about. Are there any that you feel we missed? Let us know in the comments below. Also be sure to head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/ffunion to find out how you can support our channel even further and get your name at the end of the video like these awesome folks. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching guys, this is Lauren signing out. See you next time!